Hey guys, so by the title of this video you can probably tell I am doing a review for Doctor Strange, which came out this past week, and as a Suicide Squad review went, it will be two reviews in one basically. The first review will be totally spoiler free, and the second review will be all like spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, just watch the spoiler free part. I will tell you guys when the spoilers come in. So yeah, let's get this review started. So Doctor Strange, went and saw it just on Saturday, so you can tell on my Twitter. Wow. It is honestly one of the best, if not the best movie Marvel has made. I think that the only one that could top it would be Age of Ultron. I personally think that, Age of Ultron was the best superhero movie ever made. But Doctor Strange, I don't know, it might just beat it. It's incredible. It's an astounding movie. The complaints that a lot of people put in is that the villain was very underdeveloped. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that. There was a magnificent scene between the villain and Doctor Strange, where I think I would agree that that scene should have been expanded upon more, because I'm not going to say what happens. Of course, this is a spoiler-free review, but there's just a scene between the two of them that would... It, made the villain for me. It made him a better villain than a lot of MCU villains that have come before him. He was wonderful as a villain. Of course, the main character, Benedict Cumberbatch, was amazing as Doctor Strange. The visuals in the movie are incredible. There's again, a scene at nearing the end of the movie where I think the visuals, just like the color palettes of everything coming together, is incredible. It's a mix of, these purples, these teals, and the green with the Eye of Agamotto. It is such a cool color palette to put with such cool special effects in a mind-blowing movie. I don't think the story falls short at all, which is another one of the complaints. I don't think it does. I don't think it's overrun by visual effects or anything like that. It's a pretty close to 10 out of 10. It may even be a 10 out of 10. I would definitely recommend watching Doctor Strange soon. Alright, moving on to the spoilers review. I think we can all agree that the visuals in this movie are incredible when he's bouncing through dimensions. Dormammu, not only was he a big surprise to actually appear at the end, he looked fantastic. He was trippy. He looked like he was there. It was interesting fact. Apparently they used Benedict Cumberbatch's face for Dormammu, which I just thought was interesting. It's something with he doesn't really have a physical form, and so in order for Doctor Strange to be able to conceive of him when looking at him, he took a form similar to Strange himself. But I'm going off on a tangent with Dormammu. Dormammu was awesome in this movie. He wasn't the big villain, but he was definitely Dormammu is to Doctor Strange in this movie like Thanos is to the Avengers. He pulls the strings, he's involved in some way, and while the Avengers haven't met Thanos yet, and Doctor Strange has met Dormammu, it was certainly the same sort of dynamic between the two of them. Speaking of which, the scene where he's constantly looping time back and forth, that was awesome too. Just all the interdimensional effects and... like I said before, the color palettes, it just fits so well together. The Eye of Agamotto, for one thing. The color of the eye, the runes that pop up around his arm when he's using it. I don't know what, but the greenness of it just looked incredible to me. It looks like some kind of lighthouse light or something like that. It's awesome. I love the love dynamic between Doctor Strange and Christina, who I think, Christine or Christina, I forget what her name was, unfortunately. Pretty sure it's just Christine. But, yeah, I like the fact that they don't put that in the big focus, and they at least have some kind of backstory. This relates back to Ant-Man, actually. One problem that I would say was with Ant-Man that, it was made up for because of how good the movie was, in my opinion, but the romance happened in, the snap of a finger. It happened way too fast. There were no scenes leading up to it. They were just a thing, eventually, which... It didn't make a whole lot of sense, I suppose. This one had more context and kind of left it open for whether or not they are going to end up together. They obviously still have feelings for each other, but Strange has a lot more on his mind now, so we'll see where that goes. I like that he returned to the hospital. It was a really good throwback right there. The costume, the Cloak of Levitation, was also, awesome. Baron Mordo was cool in this movie. I love that. I like how they explain his leaving from the mystic arts, at least traditional mystic arts, because he thinks he's doing the right thing. And that's a really good set for a villain. Speaking of which, in my spoiler-free review earlier, I mentioned a scene between the villain and Doctor Strange. It's the scene where the villain's tied up, bound with that magic armor. And Strange legitimately considers his point of view. I think personally that makes him better than almost any villain in the MCU we've seen thus far, because he's actually bringing forth some good points. The reason he thinks people are against him is because they won't let go of their own lifestyle for a better one, that he genuinely thinks would be a better one for everyone. The issue is that he has morally questionable ways of getting there, but there are even heroes like that, like Ghost Rider and Frank Castle. And I think the fact that Doctor Strange legitimately considered the villain's point of view in this movie was very, very interesting, and it was a great thing to add to the movie, and made him one of the best villains the MCU has ever seen. The training scenes with Doctor Strange were just awesome. Baron Mordo teaching him was a good scene as well. The library was awesome. The Sanctum Sanctorum was awesome. I don't know where to start with just saying how awesome this movie was. I think it all comes down to it was so standalone. That's what made it special. There was no Captain America Civil War thing where it was all just the Avengers with more of a focus on Captain, but it was just so much like an Avengers 2.5 movie. I enjoyed this much more than I enjoyed Civil War, I'll tell you that much. I didn't dislike Civil War per se, but I think Civil War fell short on a lot of other things that Doctor Strange just excelled at. The reveal that the Eye of Agamotto contains an Infinity Stone, again, it's just awesome. The Ancient One was awesome. Her dynamic, her death scene was amazing. The way the lightning is just going so, like, it's hard to describe. It's just, like she said, she's dragging one moment out into 1,000, and that's what it really does feel like. It's incredible. So all in all, I really do recommend checking out Doctor Strange. It was, I think, either the best or tied for the best MCU movie thus far. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll have a special on Doctor Strange for Science Behind Superheroes soon. Have a good day.